Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trading with Benzinga Pro. My name is Jonathan Mallard, and this is my colleague Ryan Faloona. Ryan, I'm on 4 hours of sleep, but I'm having a great day. Last night I was working on some cool stuff for Benzinga Pro with Luke and John. All of you watching, you might not even know them, but we have some good stuff in store for you today. If you didn't know, Benzinga Pro has some preset workspaces. So these are preset filters for different tools that you can combine on Benzinga Pro. And if you don't already have a free trial, head on over to pro.benzinga.com for free access for 14 days. Now, Ryan, I know I have some favorites here among some of these preset workspaces, but what are some of your favorites?
Yeah, absolutely. I do have some favorites. First of all, I just got to say, Jonathan, if you're working off 4 hours of sleep, you fooled me because it sounds like you got an entire tank of energy back there. Anyway, to answer your question, some of my favorite presets here, I actually like a lot of them. We developed these presets based on a lot of the tools that we use on a regular basis. So I think my absolute favorite is probably the What's Moving scanner. I know we've covered this a lot. This is a combination of the movers and the details tool. The details tool also contains our charts, which are powered by TradingView. So if you do any charting, you've probably used the details tool quite a bit. And it works really well with the movers, right? Because you can click on tickers and then load them into the details tool automatically just by clicking on them. So really, really great setup. I use it every day before the market opens. I talk about it all the time. It's the setup that really reduces the amount of time that I spend researching, which in the morning, especially if you're on 4 hours of sleep, can really be helpful. So What's Moving scanner is going to be number one on my list. Number two on my list is the unusual option activity. Let me go ahead and show these as we're talking about them. This is the What's Moving scanner. This is generally how I leave the workspace after I open it. I leave it on the chart and I leave the movers filters open here. Generally speaking, I like to look for gainers and losers separately. You can add them here. Some of our other teammates will actually add two movers here, right? And they'll have one for losers and one for gainers, something like this. And then you can kind of shorten these and you kind of look at them both but still keep them separate. So a number of different ways that you can use these tools. This one I use the most. Let me go ahead and clear this off. We'll talk about another one here shortly. My second favorite one is going to be the unusual options activity. And I'm big on options. I trade them in addition to trading stock, but I also really like watching the flow of options because sometimes that actually impacts what I'm going to do when it comes to trading an actual stock, not necessarily the option itself. So I really like the unusual option activity. This is a combination of the calendar and the signals tool pre-filtered for options, right? So that means that the signals tool is going to be checked only for option activity. This gives me a feel for all of the option flow throughout the course of the day. I see it come in here in real time, and I just see all of the different transactions. The calendar, on the other hand, it's procedurally updated behind the signals tool, so you might have a 1 to 3 second delay on new entry population, which is really not a detriment at all. But the real standout feature of the calendar is the ability to research. It's the ability to put on filters like volume over open interest and total trade price and days to expiration. And that can actually help me drill down on contracts that I'm looking for, as well as doing research on prior ideas. So these would be the top two, although I like all of them. Jonathan, what are your favorites?
Yeah, that What's Moving scanner workspace is definitely my go-to for
Yeah, me
finding
too.
those morning gappers. And then I love the analyst ratings monitor and the earnings monitor. And just to recap here, you'll notice no matter where we click on Benzinga Pro, you still have that navigation bar on the left side of the screen. So just keep in mind, if you click on those icons on the left side of the screen, that's going to be the default settings for each tool. Versus if you are clicking on these recommended workspaces, you have other filters applied to those tools. So you're not looking at the default settings. For example, with the unusual options activity workspace that Ryan just had open, On the signals tool, it only had the option activity signal checked. So you can customize this however you want after you have the recommended workspaces open. Like you could add in block trades or halts and resumes or highs or lows. But just wanted to give you a heads up there that it will give you different results at the get-go. Now, in terms of the analyst ratings workspace or the analyst ratings monitor, I really love this just because I fell in love with it when I was brand new to trading, and I was just looking for something to make me feel a little more sure of myself. Like, give me something that makes me feel like I know it's more likely to go up or down. And analyst ratings, I love talking about it with especially beginners, because if you're looking for a professional financial analyst opinion, well, you got it right here. And you don't just have one, you have a whole bunch depending on the company. So you can compare and contrast and then combine this with the news catalysts, if there are any recently, to make a more educated decision. So obviously there's a whole bunch of different analyst actions here, but I always like to highlight the filters on the calendar tool for analyst ratings. So if you just click on filters, my favorite place to start is action on security, because I mean those maintains could impact those maintain actions could impact the price of the stock. Maybe if it was combined with a large price target up increase or something like that. But just personally, I'm looking for those initiations or those upgrades. So I can get rid of all of those downgrades and maintains and just stay focused on some positive catalysts. And then you can add additional filters. So in this case, I might go down to rating and I might say, all right, I don't want any neutral or negative ratings. So I can get rid of equal weight or hold or in line or market perform and just give me the buys or the outperform or overweight. And so right here, immediately, I have a nice list of tickers that I can go through. I could filter this down even more if I want to. And especially when it's a smaller price per share, a lot of these will go up anywhere from 5 to 15% if they're a company that's looking for legitimacy in the market. So I can guarantee you, if we click through all of these, we would find something that was moving up today.
Yeah, Jonathan, you had a couple of good points there. Number one, I really like the ability to filter with the calendar too. It's kind of what I just talked about with options, and the exact same benefits can be applied to the analyst ratings monitor. And I like being able to have the news feed open. If a new rating comes through while you're doing your research, you're gonna see it there. There's gonna be the typical yellow highlighted post when it comes in brand new. So, and then the other point that you made that I really liked is, you were saying when you were new, you wanted to go to the professionals. When I first started trading, that's who I listened to, right? I sought out the people that had more experience than me, and I tried to learn lessons from them on everything from technical analysis to stock picking to fundamentals to market movements and what causes what else to move and all of that stuff. So to me, the natural progression is to actually come in and take a look at the analyst ratings. And it's not necessarily that, if an analyst says this is going to happen, then it's guaranteed to happen. But what you're doing is you're listening to someone who has been doing this for a long time. They're coming up with data points as to why they're reaching this conclusion. And sometimes, even if you don't have the same opinion of the stock, you can actually learn different research methods by seeing what their approach was. How did they reach this rating? Things of that nature. So I think that point is well taken. There's nothing wrong with learning from people that have more experience than you in that industry. And I think analyst ratings is a really good jumping off point for that. Did you have any other favorite workspaces here? I see we have a question about a WIM component. Maybe we should talk about that.
Yeah, do we have a preset workspace for that, or we could just dive right into the newsfeed there?
You know what? We don't have a preset for WIMs, but that's a really good idea. Perhaps we should come up with something like that. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit today. David, great great question there. That gives us another idea. However, to answer your question, it was what Jonathan was just saying about the newsfeed. The two ways that you can use WIMs, one of them is actually using the What's Moving scanner, right? So if you come in here and you click on Gainer's pre-market session, you're effectively going to be getting a list. Well, I must have another filter on here. Let me try opening that again. I think I'm not sure what I did here. Let me go back to my other movers. Here we go. So I already had one open. So one of the things that you can do is you can actually click through this list of movers, and you'll probably see a why is it moving on a majority of them. Remember, because these are the stocks that are moving the most and that are going to create these gaps. But if you wanted an all-inclusive list, there's another way to do that. And let me show you how that's done. We can basically clear off and start from a blank template, and we'll go ahead and just add a news feed. Remember, whenever you add a new, let me make this a little bit bigger. It's probably a little difficult to see. Whenever you add a new news feed, you're always going to get the default source of Benzinga Wire, and that's where those WIMs come through. So the only step that you need to take now is to click on categories, scroll down to the bottom, and then click on WIM. And what this is doing is this is showing you in reverse chronological order all of the different tickers that have WIMs. And obviously in the post, you can read what the reason is, the why is it moving. So this might meet your need. David, you might just be able to come in here, add a news feed, filter it only by why is it moving, and now you're getting a list of all of those. Why is it moving? Now, of course, the farther back you want to scroll, you can go ahead and do that, but you're always going to get the most recent ones at the top.
Absolutely. And Ryan, I feel like such an idiot. Right now, this is the first time I realized I could see the YouTube comments in StreamYard. So what's up, Jerome? Thanks for being here, or Jermone and Darren. As far as blocking out all the negative or neutral ratings being bad and not giving you as much of a holistic view of the market, you're absolutely right in one sense. So it could block out, my view of a negative rating on the same company. That being said, the reason why I personally filter it down to just those positive catalysts is that more often than not, either there's only one rating for one of those smaller companies for the day, or there's going to be multiple ratings moving in the same direction. There might be some situations where one analyst comes out with negative and then two come out with a positive. So that is possible. I'm just trying to narrow it down as quickly as possible to find immediate opportunities. So that's why I do it. But if you want a more holistic view, then you can just leave the rest of those ratings on there.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think a lot depends on what you're trying to go after, right? You're absolutely right. If you're only looking at the bullish things all of the time, then you're having that bullish confirmation bias. One of the things that I'll say is I'm a long bias trader, right? I'm trying to make trades to the long side more so than I'm trying to make trades to the downside or the short side. So when it comes to actually reviewing content, I like to review it in different segments. It's just easier for me to keep track of. So it might be one of those things where you filter for the positive ratings and then you filter for the negative ratings. And then you kind of go back and forth and mesh that data together in whatever way that you see fit. So really good comment there, Darren. And Jonathan, I'll be honest, I'm just not going to hang you out to dry here. I had no idea we could do that either. So now I'm going to go ahead and keep this on, and we will try and answer as many questions as we can from the YouTube stream. By the way, hi 13. Nice to see you again. We will be talking a little bit later today.
Awesome. And what's up, Devin? Thank you, everybody, for joining us for just a quick 15-minute segment here. We'll be back on Monday. Hit us up at VIP accounts at benzinga.com or with that little blue bubble in the bottom right corner of Benzinga Pro. Have a great weekend if we don't talk to you before then.
All right, time for a Benzinga Pro news desk update, and for that, I need some help. I'm going to bring on Steve Krause, Newsmaster General, Postmaster General, News. What's up, Steve? I just called you News. Steve, what's up, man?
Good host. I mean, Spence.
Thank you. Appreciate that. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great. Having a slow end to the week, but that's always good. It was kind of a busy week. We got some news still going on today, though.
Yeah. What news? What headlines are you watching today? What's on your radar?
Well, right now AT&T is hosting their Investor Day conference, and so we're seeing several headlines out of AT&T, some guidance.
Let me bring up my charts. Come on, charts.
And AT&T is up 3% here, pretty much since right around like 9:20, earlier in the day. Yeah, look at that.
All right, I have to reset my settings. Got reset. I have to change my settings so the color is better and it's easier to see. But you can see they're up 3.5% today. What kind of headlines do we have?
So we're seeing that AT&T says that HBO Max is the number 2 revenue generating standalone service in the United States for the company. So basically saying their streaming is getting better. That's always very bullish for, it's been bullish for Disney all year. And so HBO Max looks like it's competing with, those increased streaming numbers.
Did they guide as far as number of subs?
You know what? Let me see here. Yes, they did.
It actually says it right there on the top of the chart there. They guided 120 to 150 million.
Yeah,
right.
120, 150 million, which is that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit.
So let's put that into context here. How many subscribers does Netflix have? Like 200. They're like they just crossed the 200 million subscriber threshold globally. Like last quarter or 2 quarters ago. I think it was last quarter they just broke that threshold. And Disney like this week said they have 100 million subscribers to Disney Plus. I don't know how many of those subscribers are paying subscribers because they gave a lot of it away for free.
Very true.
But Disney's at 100 million, Netflix is at 200 million, and now AT&T is saying HBO is going to be at 120 to 150 by 2025, which is a few years away.
Which Disney has hit 100 million in 16 months. So I guess that's, slower growth, but AT&T, again, it's not going to be, AT&T has other revenue streams that aren't HBO Max, although it looks like, it's growing.
Right. Well, that's what the street wants to see. Is that growth. And again, I don't know how many. Yeah, let's see. Do we have some more headlines on the newsfeed? If I go to newsfeed here and
yes, sir,
and zoom in on AT&T. Okay, we see the guidance figure. They reaffirmed their guidance for the year.
They're expecting 15 billion in revenue from HBO by 2025. So again, more bullish business from HBO.
And you see that ARPU number, average revenue per user. So you're going to want to compare that to Disney and Netflix. I believe Disney's ARPU, I think it was Disney, collapsed, but I don't remember exactly. But I believe their ARPU went down last quarter, but don't quote me on that. So you're going to want to watch all these numbers as they compare to Netflix and Disney Plus, because right now those are the 3 big streaming players as far as platforms. It's Netflix, Disney Plus, and HBO.
It looks like Disney's ARPU was in Q1 of 2020 was 5.56.
Wow.
And year over year, so they just reported 4.03. So that's a $1.50 drop ARPU in Disney Plus. Now I think it's just Disney Plus, but again. Yeah, that's quite a difference from 14 AT&T. So, yeah. All
right, what else we got besides AT&T's Investor Day?
So we have the Ride Short Report.
Oh, man. Yeah, we talked about this on the show.
Lordstown.
How are they? Okay, so you see that one red candle. Let me just zoom in a little bit there. So this is the open. Where's the open? Right there. That green candle is the open. Okay, so we're just sort of hanging out.
Yeah, we're hanging out down around 20%.
Did you get a chance to skim the report? Because I skimmed it during the show.
I also skimmed it. It looks kind of damning. The faked order numbers. If the accusations of faked order numbers and the accusations of hiding a delay in the production of the vehicle itself. Yeah. I mean, again, we can't verify anything in the short report, but the accusations are, extensive and devastating. And places like Hindenburg, they do their research, right?
Yeah, and Hindenburg is notable because they also punished Nikola back. We can actually go back. This is why I love Benzinga Pro, because you can just literally search the word Hindenburg. Every headline with Hindenburg research right there. It took 3 seconds, and you can just scroll back and look at the ticker.
Well, you can also just type in the ticker NKLA, and then it will just give
That's true. Well,
you can double sort.
I didn't do it right.
And then boom, we got the Nikola Hindenburg reports.
Yeah, and you can just scroll down and see when's the last time. So look in September, right? September 10th, and you can see what Nikola did. Let's go look at Nikola on September 10th. Let's go to a daily. Oh man, all my settings got reset. I have to go back and fix this thing. What did I say? September 10th?
Yes.
Yeah, right there. That red candle. That was Hindenburg. Well, that was the 9th. So this gap down, that was the 10th, and that wasn't necessarily the start of the sell-off, because you can see it hit the high all the way back in June, but Hindenburg helped it along, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a track record not just for shorts, but short reports in the EV space. It is notable that they actually came out and said it was short. I think the last report was on Clover Health, and they said, "Hey, this company sucks, but we're not short it.
Yep,
we just think it sucks."
Exactly. They made a very big point of saying, we don't have a position in Clover. We just did research on it. Yeah,
which was very interesting. Okay, so we got Ride, which is down almost 20% today.
Yep.
What else are you watching?
So we have the end of the stimulus. The 1.9 trillion was signed. It was passed yesterday, or it was passed Wednesday. It was signed yesterday by President Biden. He made a big speech, and they're going to start rolling out the checks, the $1,400 checks, the child tax credit, the expanded unemployment are all rolling out, as of yesterday. So that chapter is now closed, and people are, should be expecting their checks
this week.
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah. I mean, they said that the people who have a direct deposit account set up with the IRS are going to be getting them first. So if you get your tax refund sent to you direct deposit, then you're probably higher up on the list. And so something to note. So that was yesterday. They've signed that stimulus, and now conversation on the Hill is focusing on what's next, right? Because that's always the thing, is what's next. And today, Biden is meeting with what they're calling the Quad, which is it's the United States, Japan, Australia, and India, and this is going to be the central alliance. Basically, like, to combat China, basically.
Okay.
And so he's
combat China in terms of what, though?
Well, in terms of their aggressions all across the place, right? India's having issues with them on their border. The South China Sea disputes, like just general China policy. They're basically making this group that is focusing on anything and everything China, including trade war stuff. I imagine probably the Uyghurs, probably. Yes, and so I is that FXI?
It was supposed to be, but the chart is not loading for me at the moment, so I took it off.
Yeah, I was going to say, so the whole market is down around 0.5% right now, but FXI is down around 3.5%. And one thing we've noticed is the China sector as a whole is down, more than the market today. So I'm not necessarily attributed to Biden, but apparently one of the next bills to be introduced, I think by Schumer, is going to be a sanction of China due to human rights issues and cyber attacks and stuff like that. So I think China is the next theme of the Biden administration. Okay. And speaking of China as well, there was a headline that the Ant Group CEO resigned.
Right. Yeah, he's out. Right.
Yep.
So Baba settled. Right. Here's the chart of Baba. I'll pull that up. So Baba settled.
Yep.
Typically, when you see a company get fined, it means the stock will go up because it means that it's over and done with. Right. And it's fines are not worst case scenario. Mm-hmm. Fines are actually best case scenario. And let's be honest, most fines are rather inadequate.
Yep.
And so a fine is typically good news. So the reason you're seeing Alibaba trade down is not the result of the fine; it's the result of the CEO being forced out.
And now, this could be driving the entire Chinese sector lower.
Probably.
It's definitely a cause for it. So again, China. I'm watching the entire Chinese space right now. That's a big theme.
Yeah, so let's see if I can get my FXI chart. Oh my God, why are my charts being my whole? I've been having problems all day with my computer and my internet, so I apologize for not being able to bring up that FXI chart.
Oh, it's fine. FXI gapped lower at the open, pretty much in concert with BABA. So I feel like it's whatever it is, be it uncertainty with trade in China, be it the the Ant Group CEO resignation. It's dragging the entire Chinese sector down.
So and just I looked it up real fast. Alibaba is 8.5% of the FXI. So if Bob was going to be down, what 4%? What is it down? 4.5%. Then it's going to drag down the FXI with it.
There you go.
And any other not just FXI, any other Chinese internet or Chinese ETF, right? I own the KWeb. Bob is a huge part of the KWeb.
Pinduoduo is down as well.
So that's down today. Yep.
Yeah, bigger Chinese stocks broadly are down. So the other few things I wanted to highlight in the last few minutes is we have a big data point next week.
What do we have?
We got retail sales.
Retail sales for the month.
Yeah, for February. For February and core retail sales for February. So we got that's on Tuesday.
Okay.
That's Tuesday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's
wait, retail sales are at 7:30? No, 8:30 I thought. 7:30? Really?
7:30.
Okay. Why did I always thought they were 8:30 or 8:15?
I was kind of surprised by that. It's not daylight savings time, right?
Wait, there was a daylight savings this weekend.
Is it?
Yeah, Spring Forward is this weekend. Saturday, right?
Oh my God! Well, there we go. That's a big news item. Spring Forward this weekend.
Retail sales is not at 7:30.
It must be not taking into account the daylight savings time. The calendar I'm looking at.
Like I should know this, but retail sales is not 7:30 unless it is, and I'm just wrong. But I feel like I would know if it was at 7:30. But in any case, okay.
Someone mentioned the yields. The yields are at 1.63 right now. They've been look at this. This is looks like it's moving today as well.
You can look at the TNX for that. Yeah, TNX is up almost 7% today.
Yep.
So that would explain why the market is down, despite really mostly the Qs, right? Because the Qs are down 2% today.
Mm-hmm.
The Russell's up. Russell's flat. SPY is down 0.5%. No surprise, if the stock market is down, it must mean that the bank stocks are up, and that is true. That correlation is staying the same. XLF is up. GameStop is up 10%, 9%. So that GameStop reverse indicator doesn't always work, but today it is working. GameStop is up. SPY is down, but really more correlated to the bond yield than GameStop. It's just a weird little pattern that has emerged. But GameStop up, banks up, energy up, tech down.
Bitcoin's down 1%, but it's above the 57,000 level, so it's still in higher territory.
Yeah. Yep.
One last thing. A fun IPO for today is Joann Fabrics, ticker JOAN.
What? I don't know anything about this. What is this?
It's a craft store. Joann Fabrics is like a very popular craft store. It's like Michael's, basically.
Give me a break. Okay, it's Michael's?
It's fun. It's like what, like, normally we see all these big tech IPOs and everything. It's like, yeah, a Michael's. JOAN hasn't opened yet for the day, but watching it, I think that's kind of fun. Maybe an Etsy sympathy play.
Wait. I have a question. Is it brick and mortar or is it like online?
No, it's brick and mortar. I mean, it has online, but it's called Joann. They own Joann Fabrics. Yeah,
You're killing me. You're killing me.
No, I'm not saying anything. I just think it's funny. It's funny. It's like it's a very weird IPO.
Joann Fabrics, a brick and mortar retailer.
JOAN.
That's a craft store.
Yep. And an Etsy sympathy play. Probably not. No, I'm just kidding.
No, Michael's is getting taken private though by Apollo, right? So Oh my
So
gosh.
it's like, yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, it's very, very weird that they're going public, but they are.
Oh, good. All right. Steve Krause is Benzinga's news master general. You're right, Zach. Not our demographic. That is for sure. Not to say it can't be in the future, but for the moment, you're right. Not our demographic. All right. Steve Krause, news master general. Thanks a lot, sir.
See you Monday.
All right. Everyone smash that like button, please, on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching. Twitch. Yes, we're on Twitch. We're on Twitter. Our Twitch and Twitter streams go all day. They don't stop. It's one continuous stream on YouTube and Facebook, or at least on YouTube, we redirect to the next stream. Coming up right now is Spax Attack. I'm going to hop off and let you all let's talk Spax. Let's talk Spax. So I'm done here, and they better be live because I'm going to them. So tune in to Spax Attack.